Hold on to your seats, Bulls fans, this is the news you never saw coming. Stephen Curry, the legendary shooter, the two-time MVP, and four-time NBA champion, has agreed to join the Chicago Bulls. This is a game-changing moment for the Bulls and the entire NBA. How did this shocking move come about, and what does it mean for the future of Chicago basketball? Stick with me, because we're about to break down why Curry's move to the Bulls is going to turn the league upside down. You don't want to miss this one, so make sure to like, subscribe, and let's dive into the madness. What's up, Bulls Nation? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a huge and absolutely shocking piece of news to discuss today, one that could change the future of the Chicago Bulls. Hold on to your hats, because Stephen Curry, yes, the Stephen Curry, has just agreed to a deal with the Chicago Bulls. This is not a drill, folks, this is happening, and you won't believe why it's such a game changer for this team. Stick around because we're breaking down what led to this move, what it means for the Bulls, and how Curry's arrival could reshape the entire NBA. But before we dive in, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future updates. Alright, let's get straight to it. Stephen Curry, one of the greatest players in NBA history, has agreed to a deal with the Chicago Bulls. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't a rumor, this isn't just some trade speculation, this is real. The news broke earlier today, and the basketball world has absolutely exploded. The two-time MVP, four-time NBA champion, and arguably the greatest shooter to ever play the game is coming to Chicago. I'm still processing this one, folks. What a turn of events. But how did this all happen? Why would Curry, who's been synonymous with the Golden State Warriors for over a decade, choose the Bulls? Now, we all know that Stephen Curry has spent his entire career with the Golden State Warriors. He's been the face of the franchise, led them to 4 championships, and revolutionized the game of basketball with his deep shooting range and incredible ball handling skills. So how did we go from Curry being the centerpiece of one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history to him agreeing to a deal with the Chicago Bulls? There's a lot to unpack here, and I'm going to break it all down for you. First off, let's talk about Golden State. We all know they've had some recent struggles. Sure, they won the championship just a couple of years ago, but since then, the team has had some ups and downs. Curry's been a constant, but the Warriors have gone through a lot of changes. We've seen some injuries, key players aging, and the overall team dynamic shifting. As much as Curry's brilliance can elevate the Warriors, there's been a growing sense that the team isn't in the same position as they were in their championship heyday. Curry himself, as competitive as he is, knows that the Warriors might not be the team they once were. He might have reached a point where, after all his accomplishments with Golden State, he felt it was time for a change and new challenge. And let's be real, Curry has done it all in Golden State. 4 championships, 2 MVPs, countless three-pointers, and breaking all kinds of records. He has achieved what many players could only dream of, and he did it all in the Bay Area. But maybe, just maybe, Curry felt that the time had come to explore something else, something new. A new team, a new challenge, and a chance to create a legacy in a different place. And that place is Chicago. Now, let's talk about the Bulls. Why would they make this move? Well, for one, the Bulls have been in a rebuild phase for the last few years. They've been building something with the likes of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. But despite the potential they've shown, the team has struggled to push past the top contenders in the East. The Bulls have talent, but they haven't had that one player who could elevate them into the championship conversation. And that's where Stephen Curry comes in. The Bulls have long been searching for that superstar who could take them to the next level, and there's no better fit than Curry. Think about it. Curry is a player who immediately elevates any team he joins. He's the best shooter to ever play the game, and his ability to space the floor and create shots is second to none. He can play off the ball, he can take over a game with his shooting, and he's an incredible leader both on and off the court. That's the type of player the Bulls need to take that next step. While LaVine and DeRozan are both incredibly talented, Curry's presence will make them better by giving them more space to operate and by taking some of the pressure off them. With Curry on the floor, defenders will be forced to adjust, creating more opportunities for LaVine and DeRozan to shine. But it's not just about spacing and creating shots. Curry's leadership and basketball IQ are invaluable. He's been through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in the NBA, and he knows what it takes to win championships. That kind of mentality and experience is exactly what the Bulls need. Curry is a proven winner, and that's something this team has been missing for years. And let's not forget, Curry is also an incredibly durable player. Sure, he's had a few injury scares in his career, but he's been remarkably resilient and has continued to play at an MVP level well into his 30s. The Bulls know they're getting a player who can stay on the floor and lead them through the toughest moments. With Curry, the Bulls aren't just getting a shooter, they're getting a player who can guide this team to the playoffs and beyond. So, what does this deal look like? From what we're hearing, the details are still coming in, but it looks like the Bulls have cleared enough cap space to make this a legitimate move. Reports suggest that Curry might be signing a multi-year deal, locking him in with the Bulls for the long haul. That's huge. The fact that the Bulls were able to not only secure Curry, but make this a long-term commitment shows just how serious they are about building a championship-caliber team. They didn't just add Curry for a year or two, they're building for the future. Now, let's talk about how this changes the dynamic in the Eastern Conference. The addition of Curry to the Bulls instantly makes them one of the top teams in the East. You look at the Bucks with Giannis, the Celtics with Tatum, and the Heat with Jimmy Butler, these teams are always in the championship conversation. But now, you add Curry into the mix, and the whole balance of power shifts. The Bulls suddenly become a major threat to the top teams in the conference. They'll have the firepower to compete with anyone, and with Curry leading the charge, they have a legitimate shot at winning it all. And don't forget, the Bulls have other solid pieces in place. Players like Nikola Vucevic and Alex Caruso provide depth and defensive presence. Adding Curry into this mix makes the Bulls a complete team. They're no longer just a team with potential, they're a team that can win a championship. The East is going to be tough, but with Curry, the Bulls can finally compete at that level. They'll be one of the teams everyone fears come playoff time. But the real story here is Curry's legacy. We all know what he's accomplished in Golden State. He's already a Hall of Famer and one of the best players in NBA history. But imagine what it would mean for his legacy if he were to lead the Bulls to a championship. Chicago has a rich basketball history, but they've been in the shadows since the days of Michael Jordan. If Curry could return the Bulls to glory and bring them a title, he'd be cemented as one of the greatest to ever play the game. Not only would he be a legend in the Bay Area, but he'd also become an all-time icon in Chicago. Can you imagine the magnitude of that? The city of Chicago would embrace him like their own, and Curry's name would forever be associated with both the Warriors and the Bulls. This move isn't just a game changer for the Bulls, it's a game changer for the entire NBA. The ripple effect of Curry's departure from Golden State and his move to Chicago will send shockwaves through the league. Other superstars will look at this and wonder if they should follow suit. Should they try and form their own dynasties in new cities, or should they stick with their current teams? This is a pivotal moment in NBA history, and it could set the stage for a new era of team building in the league. So, here's the big question: what's next for the Chicago Bulls and Stephen Curry? The immediate future looks incredibly bright. Curry's leadership, his shooting ability, and his championship experience will push this team to new heights. The Bulls are now in the conversation for a deep playoff run, and with the right additions around Curry, they could be on their way to competing for an NBA title sooner than we think. I want to hear from you. Bulls Nation, what do you think of this shocking move? How do you feel about Curry joining the team, and what impact do you think he'll have on this squad? Drop your comments below, and let's discuss. If you're excited for what's coming, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of the latest updates on the Chicago Bulls. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Bulls!